Langston falls again last night, throwing the Sooner Conference into a turmoil. Also, we have Drew Stutts. He's the head men's basketball coach, Freed Hardeman University. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Well, let's start over in the Mid-South. Georgetown gets back in their winning ways. Big win for them tonight. They go to Cumberland's. They were able to defeat them 93-85. A good win for Georgetown. Dre Boyd, 22 points, 5 rebounds. Jabrion Spikes, 20 points, 6 rebounds. Georgetown goes to 19-1, and they will face Campbellsville on Thursday. They travel there. Also in the Mid-South, Freed Hardeman, they beat Campbellsville 76-56. Sam Powell, 12 points, 2 rebounds, and Jason Nixon, 13 points, 7 rebounds. The Lions go to 18-2, and they're going to host Lindsey Wilson on Saturday. So let's take a peek here at the conference. Here's the scores. We already went through them. Georgetown now is 3-1. Freed's 3-1. Cumberland's is 3-1. It's looking like a 3-team race. So this weekend, Saturday, Cumberland's is at Cumberland. You see the games there. Okay, let's jump over to. Let's talk to Drew Stutts first. He's the head men's basketball coach at Freed Hardeman. A really good guy. I appreciate him giving us a few minutes. Just take a listen. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Drew Stutts on the phone. He's the head men's basketball coach, Freed Hardeman. They are the Lions. Thanks, Coach, for being on.
Absolutely. I appreciate you inviting me. Always good to talk a little basketball with you.
So as we're recording this, this will come out Friday morning, but as we're recording this, I think yesterday the RPI came out, the ARC came out today, but you're number 1 in the RPI. So the question I have about that, Coach, how proud are you of this group of guys you've had? After in the off season, you lost some key pieces, and they had opportunities. Well, understand that, but this group you have, they just tightened up and they said, no, we're still going to perform, and now they're performing as one of the top teams in the country. It's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and just proud is a great word. There's been some ups and downs throughout the year, and anytime you're replacing some of the guys that we lost last year, there's going to be some grind and some wear and tear, especially in the preseason as guys are starting to figure out and learn our brand of basketball and how we play on both ends of the court. But, we got a mixture of some freshmen that have really stepped up and played some big minutes, as well as some transfers. So, I am, proud is a good word. These guys have played really hard, and things haven't always been easy, but they've stuck with it. And, I guess the last game we just played, as we have this conversation, would be Georgetown. And so, that was the words I would use. That's a culture win for us. The first one of the seasons, we've had some really good wins this year, but it was the first win where you just ground it out and you just found a way to win through toughness. And, that kind of felt like some of the wins we had in the national tournament last year, where we just outlasted our opponent. And, just really proud of them going on the road, bouncing back from a tough loss, and finding a way to win that game. So, it's great to be on top right now, but, nobody remembers who is first in mid-January. They remember who's first in late March.
Yep.
And so we're not going to get too caught up with all that, but it is something that you can look at and be proud of.
You talked about the ups and downs. Just days before the Georgetown win, you fell at, or I don't remember, but you fell to Cumberland's, and then you had the huge win at Georgetown. That was I agree with you. That was a culture win. I want to talk to you a little bit more about that, but. Yeah, I'm curious how you as a coach manage those ups and downs? Because, you know, you lose a big game like the Cumberlands, you know, the fans feel like it's the end of earth. You know, your guys are really upset, but you got to get ready. You got Georgetown in a couple days. How do you manage that?
Well, to be honest with you, I think playing Georgetown is a blessing in that situation because you've got a team there that's undefeated, and for most of the season, specifically in that situation, we've kind of been the hunted team where it feels like us being reigning national champions and consistently being a top 5 team in the nation. People are giving you their best effort game in, game out, and so it was kind of fun in some ways to be the number 2 team playing the number 1 team, and for you to kind of go into enemy territory at Georgetown and feel like all the odds are stacked against you, where for a lot of the season it's been the opposite, where everybody's attacking you and trying to knock off reigning champs, that sort of thing, which is not something that we talk about. But to me, I mean, I thought it was a great timing for us to bounce back off of a loss and play a really well coached, tough, physical, athletic team in a hostile environment. So for us, I think it was the perfect thing that we needed at the moment, and fortunate to get out of there with a win. But it was really, to me, more about how we played the game, more so than the winning or the losing. I thought we really just competed hard and dug in against a really good team, and so that was great to see. And obviously, it makes it a whole lot better when you come out on top.
Going back to the end of that game, I thought that was a huge game for Mackay. Is it Vassell? Is that Vassell? I thought that was a big game for him. And then that you must really trust him. You just basically isolated him, let him play a game of double dog dare you. You couldn't get more mano to mano than that, could you? And he got to the rim and scored. That was a big time score. Talk about his play in that game.
Yeah, he played well, and he's been a guy who's just had some nagging injuries. He was a guy coming in we were super excited about. He had a preseason injury that kind of set some of his progression back on both ends of the ball, offensively and defensively. But I think he's primed to start hitting his stride right here at the right time. And he was the guy I looked at on the bench and throughout the game, and even that morning shoot around, where I could tell from a focus and mentality standpoint, he was really locked in, and he's got a ton of confidence in himself. But he's a really good player, and in the moment, I thought he was the right guy. But the good thing about our team is we got multiple guys that you could give the ball to. He actually scored his 1,000th point in that game, and that makes our fourth player on our roster who has 1,000 points, and I think Peyton Law is about 80 away from reaching 1,000. So if things stay like they should, then I think come national tournament we'll have 5 guys on our team that are all 1,000-point scorers, and so there'll be a lot of options, a lot of people we could go to, and obviously game to game that may change. But Saturday against Georgetown, it was Mackay's time.
Coach, back in Kansas City, I got to meet a lot of your guys. Really respect your team, but Peyton Law, just there's something about him, that energy that he brings, and he have you ever coached a guy with more energy?
I don't know. I've coached some good ones, but you're right. I mean, the passion and the energy and the competitiveness that he brings, it's hard to match that with anybody else. And he's definitely one of the guys that I guess you'd say is the heartbeat of the team, where you're going to show up, you're going to get a lot of energy, a lot of effort, a lot of compete from him. And he's one of those guys that, if you're in a street fight, you want to drag with you. And he may not be the most talented, the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, but he's going to find a way. And he's a guy I'm proud to have on my team.
Yeah, I started calling him Peyton the Law because it just seems like he can will his way.
You're right.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. I want to ask you, shift gears just a little bit. How much excitement is there at Freed Hardeman right now? Your team is 17-2. And most people know your sister coaches the women's team, Abby. They're 17-2. You're number 1 in the RPI. She's number 4 in the RPI. That's just got to be a dream come true.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah. I
right?
think it'll be a little. Yeah, it is. Sometimes when you're in a dream, you don't enjoy it as much as when you're looking back and seeing it. But yeah, I mean, it's really neat. Our offices. I'm sitting in my office right now. Our offices are right here next to each other, and so it's fun walking back and forth and picking each other's brains and enjoying it, being on the road together, and obviously a extremely unique experience just getting to coach a boys team and a girls team, but for both of us to be having the success we're having this year, just super blessed with great administration and staff and players here that all play a big part in our success. But Abby's doing a great job. This is her first year running the women's program and has got them in the top 10. And I'm excited for her. And yeah, our students come back on campus. This is Tuesday. They come back on campus on Wednesday. So, we play this Thursday night, and I'm sure it'll be a big turnout for our game against Campbellsville on Thursday.
Do you guys play double headers?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
Women's and men's back to back. So
Yeah.
you'll get Abby. You get one. I think Campbellsville's girls are number one, and then Abby and them are ranked 7th right now, and then us and Campbellsville's guys who are always competitive and
Yep.
tough team.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting. I didn't realize Campbellsville was ranked that high. I want to talk about the Mid-South for a moment. There's only, 7 teams, but you only play 12 games.
That's right.
It's nice because it gives you a lot of room in the preseason, but it gives you no wiggle room once the season starts, because I know you're playing for seeding in the tournament, and the tournament actually is where you get the seed, right? Or the
Sure.
automatic bid,
Yes.
I should say. But talk about that. Literally people talk about big games, but in the Mid-South, every game is a big game because you don't get very many shots.
No, you can't afford to drop a game to a poor, somebody that's not one of the top teams. But we just got out of film, and that was one of the things that we talked about was, from top to bottom, everybody in our league is capable of beating you. You may be the favorite going into the game, but I think out of conference play, everybody that's in the Mid-South had a winning record, and there's a lot of talent, and it's a deep league. Obviously, us and Georgetown and Cumberland, Kentucky, all being top 10 teams in the RPI are pretty top heavy, but those bottom 4 teams all have a lot of talent, good staffs, good fan bases. They're invested, and I expect a battle from them every night. And if we don't show up and we're not our best, you're capable of getting beat.
Last question, Coach. So you're coming off a huge win over Georgetown. How do you get the team ready to come back and be ready for Campbellsville?
Yeah, well, it's really just about us, and that's not to take a shot at Campbellsville or we play Lindsey Wilson on Saturday. And it's not really what I mean by that. I'm just, we're at a point in the season where we've already had enough success where we're probably going to make the national tournament and have an opportunity to host and things like that. So, really for us, our focus has got to be on us. It's not so much about the score or the opponent or the location, but day in and day out, having the right mentality to improve. Not to just show up and maintain and wait for the national tournament to get here, the conference tournament to get here, but have this mindset of improvement and wanting to move forward and becoming a better team. Because ultimately we know what we want to accomplish as a team, and the only way for us to do that is by us reaching our maximum potential. So, whether we were playing Campbellsville or anybody else come Thursday night, it's really about us just continuing to build that brand of basketball that we want to play and continue to add to the culture that's been established here. And I'm excited for it. This has been a challenging year in different ways for me as a head coach. Like you talked about early on, a lot of new pieces, a lot of new guys to work into our system. And so it's been a good challenge for me. And I'm really excited here to finish out the regular season and see how we can do. And, just see how good we can be come conference tournament, come national tournament. And obviously, all that has to do with the process and the work that we're putting in and day out, and having the maturity to handle some success at the same time. So it's a fun challenge and a great team. I've got the opportunity to coach, and I think if we stay locked in and doing the things that we should be doing day in and day out, then the sky's the limit, and I think we can compete for the national championship again this year.
Well, Coach, obviously just keep keep doing what you're doing. Something's working. Wish you a lot of luck as you continue on, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you more as you get down closer to the playoffs.
Absolutely, always enjoy chatting with you, and appreciate all that you do out there to support these guys and create a platform for NAIA basketball.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. That's Drew Stutts. He's the head men's basketball coach, Freed Hardeman Lions. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, thanks a lot to Drew Stutts and to Freed Hardeman University. As I said, they won tonight. I think that story about he and his sister coaching together there is pretty cool. So anyway, let's keep going. Let's jump down to the Red River Conference. LSU Alexandria, they had their rivalry game against Louisiana Christian tonight. 71-63 was the final. The Generals won this one. They go to 18-1. 18-1. Cashy Nat, he had a night, 24 points, 16 rebounds, and Braden Thompson, 10 points, 5 rebounds. So that was a big win for the Generals. That's always a tough one to get through. It's a big rivalry game of those two schools just a few minutes apart. They're going to host Xavier on Saturday. Taking a little closer look, no surprises tonight in the Red River Conference. There's your scores. I didn't get a score from Southwest. So in the standings, LSU Alexandria has a significant, over a 3-game lead over Xavier, but really there's a huge battle for second place. So with that in mind, Xavier then is going to be playing out at Alexandria this is Saturday, and then Texas College is going to be at Our Lady of the Lake on Saturday. Those are two significant games that could move those standings. Jumping over to the Great Southwest, the GSAC, Arizona Christian. They beat a pesky OUAZ team. OUAZ gave them everything they could handle, but the Firestorm came out victorious 66-62. Lorenzo White, 16 points, 3 rebounds, and Tyler Silva, he had 12 points. The Firestorm, they go to 16-4, and they are going to be at Park Gilbert on Saturday. The Masters, they easily took care of Life Pacific 95-63. Caleb Lowry, 16 points, 8 rebounds. Quincy Phillips, 19 points, 4 rebounds. So they go to 17-3, and they're going to host Embry-Riddle on Saturday. The game of the night in the GSAC was Embry-Riddle was at Hope. This wasn't decided until the final 3 seconds. Hope ended up winning this 68-66. Got to give Embry-Riddle a lot of credit. But Hope International, they hung on for the win. Nick Hopkins, 21 points, 4 rebounds, and Sebastian Castro, 11 points, 3 rebounds. So Hope, they go to 18-2, and they're going to be at Life Pacific on Saturday. So just taking a look at the rest of the scores. No surprises there. I read you most of the scores already. So Hope continues to lead the league by 1 game, and then the Masters leads Arizona Christian by 1 game. Not enough games to really, how do you say it, make a trend or really make a determination. They got to get a few more games in. So this weekend on Saturday, Embry-Riddle's going to be at the Masters, see if they can do it again. Arizona Christian is going to be at Park, and Hope International will be at Life Pacific. Langston University over in the Sooner, they were at College of the Ozarks. They fell by a point. They fell again. They go to 15-4. For College of the Ozarks, Jay Baxter, he scored 26 points. DJ Quarles, he had 17 points. Langston, it looked to me like they were playing more consistent basketball. They've dropped 2 now. I don't I don't know the answer. I mean, they just seem inconsistent again, and I mean, we'll just have to see how the games go. But boy, they've lost. Well, I'll show you in the standings. They've lost their whole cushion in the conference, and they have to go to John Brown on Saturday, and they're not playing very good basketball right now. And John Brown is good. So let's take a look at what else happened in the Sooner. Uh, Oklahoma Panhandle beat Science and Arts. John Brown fell to Central Christian. That was a little bit of a surprise. Wayland won and Mid America Christian won, with Langston losing. That gives everybody, remember we were talking about everybody else had 4 losses and Langston had 2. Well, Langston's cushion is gone. They're now a half game out, and there are 5 teams here within a game and a half. So John Brown is going to play Langston on Saturday. So this conference is really, really up in the air. Science and Arts will be at Wayland Baptist on Saturday, and Langston will be at John Brown, as we just said. And then UNT Dallas will be at Nelson. Have to keep an eye on this conference. It's really wide. It's in turmoil, I tell you. The Frontier, Montana Tech, they hosted Montana Northern. They beat them 76-53. Ifeanyi Okeke, 12 points, 4 rebounds. Michael 19 points, 5 rebounds. So the Ore Diggers, they go to 17-2, and they're going to host Rocky Mountain on Saturday. That's going to be a big Frontier game. And speaking of Rocky Mountain, hang on. So as I said, speaking of Rocky Mountain, they fell to Providence tonight, 79-74. Tough loss for Rocky. Good win for Providence. Antone Boyd, 28 points for Providence, and Jameel Bowles, 25 points, 15 rebounds. But that's a big boy double-double. So the University of Rocky Mountain goes to 15-4, and they'll be at Montana. Doesn't get any easier because they're going to be at Montana Tech on Saturday. Take a look at the Frontier standing, or the rest of the league. I already gave you a couple of the scores. So Montana Tech now is a game up on Rocky Mountain. Providence is tied for second, and Carroll is right there at 3-3, as Carroll was victorious tonight over Montana Western. So on Saturday, let's take a look at that. Keep an eye on that Carroll at Providence game. See which one of those teams can break out and challenge Rocky Mountain and Montana Tech, and then Rocky Mountain will be at Montana Tech. Central Baptist, they fall to William Woods, the Owls, tonight, 79-74. So in that game, Henry Shannon, the third for William Woods, he had 14 points, 5 rebounds, and then Damari Wiltz, 21 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. So William Woods, they go to 16-2, and they will play Williams Baptist on Saturday. Let's go back to Central Baptist. They'll be at UHSP on Saturday. Let's take a look at the rest of the conference. Good win for the Owls. Crowley's Ridge wins again. You can see the scores here. So Central Baptist still a half game up on William Woods, and then Columbia is another half game back. Crowley's Ridge is a couple games back. So on Saturday, William Baptist will be at William Woods, and Mission is going to be at Columbia. Those are a couple games that could move things. In the Appalachian Conference, only one game. Truett McConnell defeated Columbia. Bryan continues to lead that conference with CIU right behind him. And those two teams play on Saturday. It's a good game right there. Also, Tennessee Wesleyan's got to be at Montreat as Montreat tries to get back up into the mix. University of Rio Grande over in the River States, they defeated Indiana Southeast 85-71. This is a player of the night. Trey Robertson, 41 points, 3 rebounds. Jalen Johnson, 14 points, 6 rebounds. A friend of mine once told me, I don't care what level somebody's at, anybody scores 41 points, that is amazing. Doesn't happen very very often to cross the 40-point mark. So congratulations to Trey Robinson. He can always say he scored 40 plus, but good win for Rio Grande. Let's look at the rest of the River States. Here's the rest of the games. I thought this Alice Lloyd game surprised me a little bit. They defeated IU Kokomo. Everything else I thought was by Hoyle, as you would say. So St. Mary of the Woods, they still lead by a game over Rio Grande and IU East. Alice Lloyd's another half game back, and then they're tied with Kokomo now. Looking at what's happening on Saturday, Rio Grande is going to be playing Columbus, St. Mary of the Woods at Alice Lloyd, and IU Kokomo is at West Virginia Tech. Those are the key games in the conference this weekend. In the HBCU, wrong way. In the HBCU, several games tonight. A couple of big ones. Philander Smith, they beat Wiley. They continue to win. Big surprise, Oakwood beat Wilberforce. That was a surprise in the conference. Oakwood is now 1-11 in conference. So Tougaloo, who was not active tonight, they still continue to lead the league. So you can see why this was a big win for Philander Smith tonight. These top four are still battling it out. On Saturday, you're going to see Wilberforce at Stillman. Can they knock them off? And then Suno is going to be at Dillard. So the top of that conference is tight, and we'll have to see what happens over this weekend. Okay, that's what I have tonight. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm heading out. I spend Friday and Saturday watching basketball, and Sunday driving home and putting together the show for Monday. So everybody have a good, safe weekend. Enjoy your college basketball. Get out and support your team. Anyway, this is Billy D, and that's all I got. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.